Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all so much for being here. To the graduating class of 2011, congratulations. My name is Jordan Weber. I'm a senior political science major, philosophy minor from Washington, D.C. And as this class is valedictorian, it is my honor to share some words with you that will hopefully inspire and encourage us as we share in this special moment together. Do you remember the first time you won something? I do. I was 6 years old, and it was first prize in a citywide poster competition. So many details of this contest I cannot even begin to recall. However, I do remember two things. The first, the $200 check associated with winning first prize. Second, and far more important, is the poster itself. It was entitled, "When I Grow Up." I divided my poster into two sections. On the left was a picture that I had drawn of myself then, a precocious first grader sitting at her desk, smiling, with her hand eagerly raised. I imagined that this picture could just as easily have been many of us. But on the right was a picture I had drawn of who I was going to be years down the line, even more years than I could even count on my tiny 6-year-old hands. I was a woman dressed in a purple skirt suit, my favorite color, with a briefcase on one arm and a small child, my own, in the other. Now I ask you the same question that I have asked myself often, and the question upon which I will attempt to shed some type of light today. Where in the world had this vision come from, and how did it wind up in the mind of a 6-year-old? Maybe it was the image of my long-standing favorite television mother, and quite the role model, I might add, Claire Huxtable. Or maybe it was the powerful example set by my own mother, who spent her days investing in the 28 5-year-olds in her kindergarten class, only to come home to her own energetic 5 and 6-year-old and never, ever stop giving. Thank you, Mom. As a child, I began to sense this something embedded within us that wants so very badly to compel us towards greatness. Just look at your life and you will likely see that it started very early on for you too. You were probably like the majority of my grade school friends and me as we debated who should enjoy the coveted privilege of being the pink Power Ranger at recess. We did not want to be her because she was an ordinary high schooler. Oh no. We wanted to be her because she backflipped her way into our hearts as she wreaked havoc upon evil monsters everywhere, saved the world, and still managed to look perfect as she did it. Now, I did not really want to be a martial artist with magical morphing powers. Actually, maybe I did. But I didn't need to be. Even at the age of 6, I began to notice that there was something very compelling about a woman who could gracefully have her hands full and intuit when is the time to give those hands a break. Not simply because she can, but because she wants to. She is compelled to because she understands what has been given to her, however large or small it might seem to others, and wants to share it with as many as she can. Greatness, in that way, was for me like a magnet. When I observed it in others, I was immediately drawn in. And something inside of me was inspired to imitate that. But what so often comes along with the desire to be great is the desire to be perfect. I became the girl who thrived off of reading 100% across the top of her paper. I found 99 to be, quite simply, the most irritating number in the world. Interestingly enough, my perfectionist tendencies emerged as a child as well. My meticulous approach to handling classroom assignments made Jordan, it doesn't have to be perfect, a phrase that, in their exasperation, I must have heard from my elementary school peers at least once a day. And yet, too many times, I fell prey to the jarring fear of failure, which has a very funny way of convincing you that it is far better not to try than to try and miss the ever-elusive mark of flawlessness. That fear so quickly breeds insecurity. And when you live that way, somewhere along the line, you become this porcelain doll that is petrified of falling from her glass case. I know, because I was one. As I approached the critical juncture of preparing to transition out of high school and into college, I had become so focused on achieving that I lost touch with the simplicity and sincerity of the heart of that first grader who was excited about her future, excited about living meaningfully and with intention. I knew that life had to be about more than performing, producing, accomplishing, repeat. But that was what I'd become used to. I started to see what I did before I saw who I was. And I find that to be problematic. After devouring and internalizing what is now one of my favorite books, Ralph Ellison's Invisible Man, I composed the college personal statement that would open the door for me to attend schools like Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Brown, and Spelman, on how my life was parallel to that of the invisible man's. I felt invisible. And yet, it's funny that I deliberately made my way to Spelman College. And it is also funny, albeit not surprising, that I have never, ever felt invisible since. When I set foot on this campus, I found myself surrounded by these young ladies whose mothers, fathers, grandfathers, grandmothers, aunts, uncles, friends, mentors, high school teachers had made sacrifices to invest in their future because they knew it was one that would change the world. Young ladies with parents who had worked multiple jobs, started a Spelman savings account, held off on the family vacation that summer, pitched in that last dime, forgone scholarship offers from other schools so that their daughter would have an opportunity to attend a school whose value could never be limited to a dollar amount. Thank you, Daddy. I stepped foot into a community of giving amongst Spelman students, my peers and sisters, as we were presented with the charge to go on to invest in others out of the overflow of all that had been invested into us. And, like a magnet, I suddenly became connected to what I had found meaning in since I was 6 years old. So when in life you hit those brick walls so solid and so intimidating that they almost make you wish you were invisible, know that things have a way of falling apart, but ultimately you are left with what is within you. Tough times will show you what you are made of, and it is up to us, Spelman sisters, to make sure that what we are made of is always the right stuff. Resilience, perseverance, character, sacrifice. Are those not the very things that have brought us here? And let us never forget that it is so often on walls of brick and stone that ivies grow and thrive. An inconvenient environment should yield irreplaceable growth. Spelman has charged us with making the choice to change the world, with which we have all become familiar over the course of our time here. But as I look out among you, my classmates and my Spelman sisters, I see the faces of 550 graduating seniors who have already made that choice by entering Spelman's gates and persevering so that now we can exit them as Spelman women. A charge to change the world can be very daunting, but there is comfort that lies in knowing that you've already faced the daunting and succeeded. It's simple. You're here. You've done it. And what is so special about this day, at this time, and in this place, is that we celebrate another comfort, making that choice together. We've done it. So, Spelman sisters, there is no turning back now. In 48 hours, we will have achieved something great. And that means that we must expect responsibility. We know it's coming, so don't worry about it. You have already made the choice to change the world once. Decide today to make it many more times in ways that will impact and reach and change the lives of many more people. Because before you know it, you will be returning to our Spelman as a diamond daughter or a golden girl, and your nieces, your daughters, your granddaughters, our little sisters will be following us through the arch we are preparing to transition through. What impact will your life have upon this earth that will outlast you and can be passed on to future generations? Now, answering this charge is not always easy, nor will the road always be perfect. In fact, I think it is safe to say that it never will be. But, like the ivy, you will endure. You will weather the storms created by life's most difficult challenges. The waters from those storms will make your roots stronger than ever. And you will grow towards heights that even you thought were only a dream. And the little girl you once were, who used to sit at her own desk and daydream about the woman she would become, will be more proud of you than you ever could have imagined. Thank you.